but I'm sharing it with you. And as the weeks go by, I'll share some more info and even give you some sites you can go to and find out a bit more about it. And some really great, there's a whole lot of different breathing techniques. Some of them are really easy and you can do in front of other people. Others, not so much. You've got to kind of be in the privacy of your own home. But they're all wonderful and they will serve you so incredibly well. So breathing, remember that. I don't have on the tick list breathe every day because we just have to get through the day. But always remember, breathing's going to be one of your best friends. So remember that. Okay, movement. Now, I've just got to turn my heater off. Sorry about that. Okay, let's start again. Okay, movement. So, movement's important. I have, over the time, loved boot camp. I've loved outdoor exercise groups. I've loved running. Yes, I even ran. I used to run. I've loved all different sorts of aerobics. Gosh, you name it, I've done it. In my mid-50s, I've realised a couple of things. I don't love those things anymore. I've also realised that if I push my body too hard, I'll hurt myself. And if I hurt myself, I can't keep doing what I need to do. As per having a torn meniscus and re-injuring it and being unable to walk or do anything for 12 months. So I don't ever want to be in that situation again. So what I do now is I walk. Now I suggest in the Butterfly Plan that you do 30 to 40 minutes of gentle to moderate exercise every day. If you do that, or at least I think 5 days a week, I'm suggesting that you do that 4 or 5 times a week. But if you do that, you are going to be fine. That's what you need. That's all you need. So for me, walk. I walk every morning. I used to think I'd have to go out and walk for an hour. No, you don't. For me, I get up at 6. By 7, I'm back home in the shower. So within an hour, I'm able to get up, put the dogs in the car, drive to this great walk track along the river here in Geelong where my dogs can run off lead. I get back into the car, back home in the shower, all done and dusted within an hour. I've walked around 40 minutes during that time. Fantastic. The other great thing about walking that I can't stress enough and is so important is it gets you outside. You need to be outside in fresh air. We need fresh air for a number of reasons. A lot of it's got to do with our gut. We need it, which I'll explain in a little bit, but a lot of it's got to do with our gut. We also need to get the sun on our face. So that's why one of the main reasons it's important. I try and say to people, please get outside for at least an hour a day. But also just walk. Walk, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't even have to drive to walk. You can just walk from home. Walk for an hour. No, well, you don't have to. Walk for 30 minutes. Just walk. It's that simple. You don't even have to be quick. If you've got pets, it's the greatest gift you can give to them. It will help them be healthy. Being stuck in a backyard is not healthy for an animal. Take your dog out. Take them for a walk. It's important. If you prefer to do something else like swim, or because I know that sometimes walking can be difficult if you're carrying an injury, swimming's great. You might want to go to the gym and it might be the thing that sparks you. Then do that. For me, it doesn't spark me. There's some interesting stats around the fact that after you sort of reach that mid-40s, I'm pretty sure it's to do with menopause. Once your hormones change, you would have to basically be at the gym all day for it to have a serious impact on your weight. I think we often think, I'm going to go to the gym and that will help me lose weight. The reality is, it doesn't help that much. For a few reasons, which I won't bore you with now, and you can research this stuff yourself and I'll have some links as well for you, but for a few reasons, but not the least of which, if you go to the gym and you really push your body hard, you will crave more. to replenish your body. So you'll crave sugars and things like that, carbs, to replenish your body. If you walk, the same thing doesn't happen. The thing is though, 30 minutes of walking is equal to 30 minutes at the gym. At this age, at our age, it's got the same impact. So why would you do something that's actually, well, you can if you want to. It's you do you. But it's going to make you hungrier. Just be aware of that. So do the gym, but walk as well, because that's where you're really going to start getting your metabolism working in a great way. But it's also where you're going to get a lot of good bacteria coming into your system that you're not going to get in a gym. Fresh air is one of the most important things you can give to yourself. Cold fresh air is awesome. Walking on a cold morning will burn more fat than anything else because your body's trying to keep you warm. It's a really great thing to do. Can't stress it enough. Yin yoga. I say that I want you to do one yin class a week. And for some of you who've never done yoga before will go, oh, yoga, I'm not a yoga person. Trust me, yin isn't like a standard yoga. And in fact, I don't do standard yoga either. I do gentle yoga or I do yin. Yin yoga, or also known as seated yoga, although some of the yin practices won't have you seated necessarily the whole time, but seated yoga is incredibly supportive. You do it with a bolster. You prop yourself up so that you're never putting too much stress on your body. The reason yin is so fantastic is that it stretches out all the connective tissue, our fascia, that's in throughout our body. So it helps with our flexibility. It really increases our flexibility. The older we get, the more less flexible we get, but the more sort of bunched up we become. Yin allows us to stretch all of that out. It helps our body free up, and it also helps, if you go into Chinese medicine and all about the chakras, it frees up all of that within our body. Now, if you don't believe in that kind of stuff, that's absolutely fine. But trust me when I tell you, if you do a yin class, it will be one of the most wonderful things you ever do. If you don't feel comfortable about going to your local yoga studio, or if you can't afford to do that, and I understand that that can be the case, then go to YouTube and find a good yin practice on YouTube. I do have some that I can share with you, some YouTube. Annoyingly, most of them are out of America. I don't know about you, but the American voice doesn't actually make me feel terribly relaxed. But yeah, I'll do some more research as well, but you do research too. Find yourself a really good yin class to do. Make sure you have a good mat to do it on, a quiet place where you can do it. Have some cushions or pillows and things, bolsters that you can use to help support you through the class. But do the yin class. It will be one of the most wonderful things that you do for yourself and for your body and for your soul and for your mind and for your gut. It's an incredible gift you can give to yourself. Please take the step out of your comfort zone and do this. Get yourself some gear and go along to a yoga studio, and please just try it. And even if the yoga studio isn't making you feel as comfortable as you would like to, then find another one. I've been to a number, and I'm currently going to the most wonderful yoga studio here in Geelong called Yoga 213, which is just awesome. It's actually known for its hip-hop yoga. I don't do the hip-hop yoga, but it's just awesome. Yoga teachers are the most beautiful people. And trust me when I tell you, it has so got nothing to do with how you look. It's all about your practice and what you do for yourself. Do the yin class. At least get a YouTube, look at it, try it. It's also very meditative. I can't keep on going on about it as much. It's just, I love it. Yoga. Now I'm suggesting you also do a gentle or other kind of yoga class as well every week. It's a really important thing to do. I'm not going to tell you, well, I am telling you you should. It'll be an amazing gift that you give to yourself. Now, I know that yoga for bigger bodies can be really difficult. So what I would say to you is just maybe try it at home with a good yoga app, YouTube, and then do it in a way that's good for people who've got a bigger body. They'll show you the really good yoga on YouTube will show you how to modify it so that it works for you. The other great thing about it is it's awesome for balance. One of the hardest things for women or anyone as we get older is that our balance isn't as good as it should be. So if you can maintain your balance, if you can maintain that and you actually improve your balance, then you'll find that you don't do things like trip, or you don't roll your ankle, which I did, or you don't hurt yourself in ways that as we get older we are prone to and we will do. The other thing it's awesome for is increasing your bone strength, because you've got to do in yoga you've got to sort of manage your own, you've got to hold up your own weight and do things like that. It actually increases the bone strengthening. As we get older with osteoporosis, this is one of the most important things that we should be doing. Do not rely on taking calcium tablets and whatnot anymore. That's a good idea to do as well. But do it, the best way to do it is through strength training, and the best way to do strength training in an easy way is through yoga. You're doing your strength training without even realising. So again, can't stress that enough. Cycling, swimming, awesome. They're fantastic. I don't do either, but they are great ways of getting to move. If you're not into yoga, maybe you can get your Zen state with cycling or with swimming. All of these things are really important. The bottom line is though, you've just got to move. You have got to move your body. You cannot keep sitting and standing and doing nothing. Butterfly plan, you've got to move. And you've got to tick that off as well every week. Move in a way that you love. If you love what you're doing, then you are going to love doing it. I don't love boot camp. I don't do boot camp. But I do love yoga and I do love walking. So I do those things. They actually contribute to my joy. And when I realise how much I love them, I actually count them as part of the joy that I get every week. Because you've got to count that as well. Okay, your gut. Now, I could go on for days about this, and if you know me well, you'll know that actually I do bang on about this a fair bit. The info is in the presentation that you've got. Read through that, and I won't bore you with it too much now. What I will say to you, though, a crucial part of this plan and a crucial part of my well-being is my gut health. If your gut health is out, if your gut isn't healthy and if your gut's not happy, then you will not be happy and you will not be healthy. That simple. There's a few things that you can do to help your gut, and most of them involve what you put in here. So I'm just going to put it out there. There's a few things within the plan that are important. Roxy's Morning Zinger. A combination of apple cider vinegar with the mother, lemon juice and chili. Hideous. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It ain't sugar-coated. It's hideous. 45 mils a day. Some people say to me, oh yeah, I have apple cider vinegar. I have about a capful. No. A capful's not going to do anything other than annoy you. 45 mils a day. Scull it. Scull it because it's hideous and you just got to get it down there. Then have either with it or have straight after it warm water, or warm to hot water out of the tap I have. Just get that down. The idea is that it will actually warm your gut and helps alkalize your gut. That's really important. Now, it's also, because it's vinegar and lemon juice, it's also quite acidic. So you might want to rinse your mouth out, which is as a really important thing too, which is why the warm water afterwards is really good. So maybe rinse your mouth out because you don't want that on your teeth enamel. But scull it down. Have it first thing in the morning. I don't have it first thing in the morning. I have it after I've come back from my walk. I find that if I have it first thing, it's pretty hard on the tum-tum. So if you leave it until you come back from your walk or whatever, or you leave it until you've been up a little bit, your stomach will tolerate it a little bit better. So I have it then. I let it settle. I don't move around too much after I've had it because sometimes it can make me feel a little bit nauseous because it's sort of pretty full on into your gut. But have that every day. Make it part of your ritual. It's not nice. I am telling you now, it's not nice. But it's important and it's for your gut. Sunshine. You have got to let the sun hit your face, preferably first thing in the morning sun coming up. Even if you're not going to go out and have a walk, but you should. Even if you're not, then go outside and let the sun's rays hit your face. Try and get that sort of, let them hit the back of your eyes. So you get that tiny little achy thing at the back of your eyes. If you allow this to happen, it will tell your gut a few things. It's going to tell your gut when it needs to release melatonin, which is going to help you sleep. Generally speaking, and what I've found is that if I look at the sun or I get the sun on my face in the morning, at around 9 o'clock at night or 8:30, 9 o'clock, I'll start to feel like I need to be thinking about going to bed. By about 9:30, I'm like, oh, I've got to go to bed. I often say to my partner, oh, I'm going to bed. He goes, this early? I'm like, oh, seriously, I can't keep my eyes open. I've gotten myself so regulated because I have then I go to bed, and then by 10 I'm out like a light, and then I'm up at 6, sun on my face, the cycle goes again. It regulates your melatonin and it increases, well, maybe you're not even producing enough melatonin, but it actually gets your melatonin production, which happens in your gut. It tells this little thing inside your brain that then triggers the gut reaction for your melatonin. Sunshine in itself is also vitamin D, one of the most important things that we need in our life. We're in a difficult position in Australia where we're right under the ozone hole in the ozone layer, so the sun can be quite damaging. But if you can get sunshine in that morning part, if you can get sunshine in that later afternoon part, the vitamin D that you'll get from that, you need at least 10 or 20 minutes apparently to get the amount of vitamin D that you need. It's the cheapest, easiest way for your body to intake vitamin D. If you do that, then the vitamin D will reward you in so many ways. A lot of illness, and we're talking about things like multiple sclerosis, breast cancer, various other things, have all got a connection to a lack of vitamin D. So if you can increase your vitamin D and get your vitamin D to a good level, then that's the best gift you can give your body for good health. It's so important. Again, you can take a vitamin D supplement, but it will never be, but they're expensive, number one, but it's never going to be as good as sunshine. The morning sun and the afternoon sun are incredibly important. There's all this other stuff around. I'm just going to say these words and Google them if you want, but mitochondria and your just how your body works and your microbiome and all of that. That those at those different times of the day also have these specific rays. They're a red infrared ray that comes with the sun at those times of the day. They're incredibly important for your body and for the cells in your body. So again, I won't keep banging on about it. Just trust me when I tell you the sun is really important. And if you don't trust me, jump on Google and you will go down that rabbit hole and see how amazing the sun is. The rest of the time, put on your sunscreen. But at those times of the day, get as much sun on your face as you can. Interestingly enough, I've kind of stopped wearing sunglasses as well, because just to help me get some sun on my face, it's really important. Another thing that I have included in the Butterfly Plan that I think is the best gift you can give yourself, your gut, and just generally is kefir, spelled K-E-F-I-R. It translates to milk of the gods. It tastes a bit like a liquid yogurt. It's made from fermented milk, I actually make it on my own bench, and I've got all the links and that in the presentation, so you'll be able to find that there if you're interested in doing what I do. But you can buy it just from the supermarket, and you get it in the yogurt section. 250 mils of kefir a day will be the greatest gift you can give your gut. If you do nothing else, do that. In that kefir are billions of good bacteria. In a really super expensive probiotic are millions of good bacteria. Really expensive, only get millions. Kefir, not so expensive, get billions. So those good bacteria just get into your gut and do all of the good stuff that it should do. I combine it with a bit of a prebiotic as well. I'll go into all of that throughout as we travel through the 12 weeks. But kefir is really important. You can flavour it, but remember that's got to go. If a straight kefir, don't count that in your calorie count. But if you're getting a higher calorie one, then you'll need to count that. The other thing too is that maybe start with 125 mils, so half a cup of kefir. Just in case you might get a bit of a reaction. Sometimes you'll get some spots on your face or a little bit of a rash. If you do, what that's telling you is that your gut is really not in a great way. But persevere. Once that passes, the kefir, and you get your body acclimatized to it, you will feel so much better. Seriously, you won't know yourself. It's awesome. Bovine colostrum is another thing that I want you to include in your diet. It's relatively expensive, and I've only been able to buy it, or I've only bought it online. I've seen some in like chemists, but they're not pure bovine colostrum. You need the 100% pure bovine colostrum. It can't be broken down with anything. A teaspoon of that every day, a heaped teaspoon, will do wonders. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's a great source of calcium. It is also great for your gut. It's one of the things about it being an anti-inflammatory, it's really good for the anti-inflammatory nature of your gut. There's been some research around bovine colostrum as a way of losing weight, having it as part of a weight loss program, which was how I initially was suggested to me by somebody. I'm not sure about that, but I do think that there is a connection between it being good for your gut, and if your gut is happy, it'll help you will lose weight. You just will. So it's such an important thing to keep your gut healthy, and this is one of the things that you can do for that. Bovine colostrum, I also make my kefir with bovine colostrum because it's a really great way of getting nutrients to us, and it's from the milk immediately taken from cows after they've given birth. So it's from that milk. It's really good stuff, great stuff. So order that online, and now order it now. All the info's in the presentation, but order it now because it might take a few days to get to you. But order it and get it and have it. I have it in my shake every day. The thing is about your gut, you may not be aware of. The gut is it's where you'll have the main production of serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine. That's where all of that is produced. And also some bad stuff, but let's talk about the good stuff to start off with. All of those, the happiness and love hormones. Oxytocin is one of those, that's what you feel when you're in love. So when you are experiencing that, you just feel really wonderful. What I found, purely by accident, is that I was just feeling really wonderful and really happy for no good reason. And then I was feeling all this love for my partner. I go, oh, I love you. What I realised, it was actually my gut was happy, so it was producing oxytocin. I also found that I had been on a pretty high dose antidepressant. I found doing the program with the guidance of my GP that I was able to halve the dose, and then I was able to completely come off the dose. The main reason is because I think that I'd gotten my gut so healthy again that it was producing its own dopamine and serotonin, so I didn't need a drug to help me produce those hormones. It was my guts producing them for me, so I didn't need it anymore. I'm not suggesting go off. If you're on any medication, the only reason I would ever suggest coming off it is with the advice of your GP or your doctor. I'm just telling you what my experience has been. So that happened, and now I'm not on any antidepressants, which is absolutely fantastic for me, because it means it's one less thing I've got to do in my day is take those drugs, and it's also a lot cheaper not having to pay for those drugs. And if I don't need them, even better. I suppose then brings me to cortisol. Cortisol is the drug that's our fight or flight drug. So it's the one that tells us whether we've got to run from the saber-toothed tiger or someone's coming to kill us. We need to get out of here. That's that drug. Cortisol, even me doing that, has now given me my body an anxious reaction. And my gut feels a bit tight. It's tightened up. I can actually feel it. Calm myself down again. That's cortisol. When we're in that state, we produce cortisol. And it is awesome if there is a saber-toothed tiger or there's someone coming through the window trying to kill us. It is awesome. That's when we need it. The rest of the time we don't need it. But for some inexplicable reason, we get ourselves into this state that we think we need it. So our body thinks we need it. I realised, and I've talked a little bit about the fact that I think I was probably a bit depressed, and I've also talked a little bit about being on antidepressants. I actually think the bulk of my issue was anxiety. I think that for the past, who even knows how many years, I've been in a constant state of anxiety where I was like this all the time, where I had this to do and this to do, and I had to get that done and that and that and that, and all the time I had to be really happy and really up and on and getting everything done and being amazing, and I'm just like struggling to do it, but I needed to do it, and so I was constantly doing it. And that, my friends, is anxiety. I didn't even know. I had no idea that I had anxiety until I didn't. And being on the Butterffly Plan, I stopped having anxiety. All of a sudden, I didn't feel that pressure. All of a sudden, it was as if I found another 5 hours in my day. It's incredible how much can get done when you're not anxious. It's incredible how much you can get done when your mind isn't like this. It's incredible how good you feel when you don't feel like that, how well you sleep, how much you enjoy everything in your life. Now, I don't know if you have anxiety. I don't know. Maybe you don't. But what I do know is nearly every woman I know seems to be in that state all the time. In fact, nearly every person I know. So I've managed, through getting my gut right, to bring myself into a calm state where I feel like this most of the time. Breathing helps with that as well. Eating well helps with that. Not drinking a lot of alcohol helps with that. But most of all, my gut is what has helped with that. So gut health, that is one of the most important things.